Hey guys, welcome to Rusty Burton's Family Tree. If you're kinfolk, kick back, enjoy yourself. I'm going to show you something kind of, I run across it, and sometimes you run across things and you want to share them with everybody, and I wanted to share this with you. All of these that you're seeing right here, even this guy, let me bring that in. Let me click on this. Even this guy, let me view the profile image, just so you can kind of see the family resemblance. You see this guy, William Henry Burton. He is your great uncle, or your great great uncle, my second great uncle. So he was born in Ashton, Alabama, and died January 8th, 1868, or 1968. So he was 100 years old, so the good gene. And he died in Plainview in Hale, Texas, Hale County. All right. So this is on the Burton side. All right, and here's some of these names showing up. And you wonder what makes you think that John Burton here, which was our, let me go ahead and open this up. He was born in 1832 in South Carolina. And of course we have him tracked from 1860, 70, 80. There's no 1890 census and 1900. Of course this is a non-population census. That's 1870. And the Find a Grave, which points him, follow this purple line. He's buried in Cleveland, Oklahoma. He died on February 4th. Alright, so just doing some research, you go to Oklahoma, to the research microfilms, a gateway to Oklahoma history. okhistory.org, research and newspaper, research center and newspapers is how you find this. And of course you can read obituaries from the Oklahoman. There were so many different newspapers out here, so you can order microfilm, which they have all these newspapers on microfilm now, and all this. You can get every one of them for $85. Get the whole roll. So regardless, I typed in and searched the You All Doings in Lexington, Oklahoma. All right, and it's kind of hard to find, so you have to actually know what you're looking for. I knew that he had went to Oklahoma, and the only reason I knew that is I found him in this 1900 census, and it shows the same family that I've tracked across Alabama. Right? So there's John Burton, PM, which is Permelia. It says PM, but it's Permelia Ann Bryant. SL, which is Sally Leola. RJ, which is Robert John, and Van Buren Burton. And I knew these were children. Some of these I knew were children. And I knew those two were married, and they've been married for 32 years. Which puts their marriage around 1868. So, that being said, I knew kind of where to look. And when you go to, let me just go back here just for a second. You see his headstone, that's the way it looks. And we're going to go to View Tree once again. I probably could have done it from him, but I'm just going to pull out here and show you that here's General Magnolia. All these people, they died real young. This one was born in 1889 on May 16th. This one was born in 1889 on May, he died on May 15th. So anyway, these three pass away really young. I'm gonna pull up Robert here, and right, May 15th, 1889, he died in Lexington, Cleveland, Oklahoma. But it shows General as being born, and all the records indicate he was born in Alabama on May 16th, which if this one died on May 15th in Oklahoma, how is it possible that General here was born on May 16th? The same year, the following day in Alabama. I think he was actually born in Oklahoma. So what transpired here? Did they bring this guy from Alabama? Did he die in Alabama and they transport him with him? Or did him and his dad take off to Oklahoma to find land and leave the mama behind, and then they came later? I'm not 100% on how that, maybe went down. But regardless, we know their headstones all look alike. And one thing you can do that I love using Google Earth for is family research. And when I say that, I simply went here, all right, Robert Burton, all right, and I know he's buried in Oklahoma, so I'm going to go to the Find a Grave Index, review the record, go to the website, and it's going to show us the headstone and things like this. And it reads son of J and P.A. Burton, born February 23rd, 1882, and died May 15th, 1889. Gone from our home, but not from our hearts. So, and it actually shows you the cemetery they're buried in. General, the headstone looks similar. Son of J and P.A. Of course, this one's broken in this picture, and someone has repaired it or stood it back up. Maybe did the best they could. So, thanks for doing that, whoever did that. And then you have Magnolia, who also died young, with the exact same obelisk-shaped headstone that her father had. And this one's a little harder to read, but regardless, it's there. They all look alike. Now, we can see by the burial location that they are buried in Lexington Cemetery. All right, this one is buried, Magnolia, I believe. Yes, is buried in plot northwest, row 6, I guess slot 10. So let's go see where Robert is. And Robert is in row 6, 13. So they're buried really close together, three grave slots apart. Let's see where General is. He is buried in 11. All right. So we have 10, 11, and a 13. So now where is John buried at? I'm assuming he's close by, but I don't know. He is in 12. Now, who is in this slot 11? Maybe we could figure this out. Let's just type in Burton. And she is nowhere near him. And I've never heard that name, so I'm not sure. She's from Tipton, Tennessee. I wish I could find a layout of this thing here, because I would actually look at that and find out exactly who is in slot 11. Maybe there's no one there. There's one famous interment. Let's see who this is. Bill Shores, Major League Baseball player. He was a pitcher for 6 seasons with Philadelphia Athletics, New York Giants, Chicago White Sox. He was a member of the 1930 World Champion Athletics. During that season, Shores recorded a personal season high of 12 victories, 96 career regular season games. Shores won 26 and lost 15 with a 4.17 lifetime ERA. Huh. So anyway, you can go to these cemeteries and actually look at this. Let's view all interments, and of course it's not going to tell us where slot and row numbers and all this good stuff. So anyway, I would love to know who was in slot 11. Let me go back to that. It says map. Well, it actually shows us the map, but I'm getting a little carried away with the mouse here. So it's really not going to show us a whole lot. So anyway, I don't know. So there's obviously somebody buried in slot 11, or maybe there's not, but regardless, we have 10 and 13 and 12 occupied. Maybe there's Robert, General, Magnolia. Let's just go back and look. Maybe I missed something. There's 10. There's 13. There's 11. What am I thinking? So there we go. So they're all buried right beside each other, which makes a lot of sense. So regardless, you can do research with Google Earth here. And of course, I'm not really going to know, but I have this figured out that John Burton is buried in this cemetery. Now, of course, it says row 6, slot 11. Not sure where that would be. I'm assuming it's going to be one of the first people buried in this cemetery. Simply because you start asking yourself, why would they go to Oklahoma? Well, when you look at Robert, he died May 15th, 1889. Now I'm going to show you something. On April 22nd, 1889, the land run started at high noon. So April 22nd, 1889, thousands of would-be settlers make a mad dash in the newly opened Oklahoma territory. Was that our family? Were they the boomers of Oklahoma, boomer Sooners? You know. So he died 1 month, less than a month, after the Oklahoma land rush. So he probably got out to the territory, maybe got sick, because there's so many people come together. And you know, when you got a lot of people that come together from different parts of the world and different parts of the country, that sickness is going to come. There's no outdoor toilets. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, basically a big cesspool. Maybe he gets sick and he dies. So there you go. Maybe it was part of the Oklahoma land rush. Now, what I was showing you here is the You All Doings, and what I found is I had went to the Gateway to Oklahoma History, and I typed in You All Doings, which is a crazy name. All right, there's February 15th, 1901, May 31st, March 8th, November 1st. Now we can go out here. What we can do is, I know February, I'm going to go to years. I'm going to go to 1901, which I know is when John Burton passed away. There's the February 15th issue, May 31st, March 8th, May 24th, November 1st, April 19th. There's February 8th. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. Alright. And I'm going to hit zoom. We'll zoom out just a touch. We could go through here and look, but I just happen to know what page it's on that I found this, because like I said, I've already read most of these newspapers. Let me zoom out. And I think it's this page where it says local news. Alright, so we scroll through here and we read all these. I read every bit of this. They needed some telephone poles at once. Right here. Applied LT Hine Purcell LT. Alright. Another thing I want to show you just real quick, and kind of how I linked this together, that it was the same one. I'm going back to our family tree. And I want you to look right here. Martha Lavina Chafin Stout. At one point, she was married to Law Chafin. All right. We go back to the newspaper, and we see this name appear as Miss L. Chafin came down from Norman Tuesday and attended the funeral of her father, Uncle John Burton. Right? So why would they call her father, Uncle John Burton? So who is writing the newspaper? You know, was it his uncle? Whoever was writing the newspaper. If that makes sense. But when we go on down, we can see, we got to keep doing a little research, and we see right here that he died at his home 8 miles southeast of Lexington Monday, John Burton, of pneumonia in his 71st year. Deceased was only sick about 10 days. The funeral occurred Wednesday. And then below that, hats in all the new shapes and colors at the Mammoth. So anyway, this was basically an obituary for John Burton, Uncle John Burton. And of course it shows that also the little 3-year-old son of Mr. and Miss Graves, living on the Halls farm north of town, died last Friday. So, you know, death was a pretty common occurrence with sickness and stuff, especially with young people and the elderly. And he was 71 and he died of pneumonia in Oklahoma in February. I'd say it was pretty cold. So anyway, we also see this name up here, L. Chafin, Uncle John Burton. So that made a connection, and I just wanted to show y'all that finding. And you know, sometimes you just have to know where to look and where and when to look. So knowing that he was in Oklahoma led me to the newspaper, which took me to be able to find this. And you know, I'd actually found this a while back, and I just wanted to share it with everybody. So now what can we do with this? We can save the image, copy the image. Let's just hit save image as, and I'm just gonna hit John Burton death announcement. So I can save that and actually go back, actually attach it to his file. So anyway, if anybody wants to do any research, go look, read all these newspapers with me from Oklahoma around somewhere between 1895 and 1901, and you'll find that our family, you'll see them listed somewhere maybe, and you can help me out. But regardless, I'm gonna cut this video off now. I just wanted to show you that L. Chafin, Martha L. Chafin, and John Burton here, who died February 4th, 1901. So anyway, maybe someday I'll get on back and be able to find out who his mother and father were. Until then, I'll see you next time. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll make some more before long.